Audio check. Audio check. 1, 2 checker. Microphone checker. Let's see what we got here today.
Your child's dreams are worth investing in. A Florida 529 savings plan lets you grow his college savings tax-free for as little as $25 per month.
Skip. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Is everybody awake? Oh, man. Just a little bit higher. See if we could get in here, because I sit down, I ain't got no drawers on. Hey, what's going on, Postal family? Is everybody good? All right, cool. Hey, husband. Oh, my goodness, I don't know who that is. All righty. How y'all doing, Postal family? Thank you. What's going on, Gabe? I'm going to do a couple shout outs for a second before we jump right into the meat and potatoes. Any word on the new contract? No, they keeping everything hush. That's what they do. They keep it hush. I started reading something. I said, you know what? I ain't got no time to edit nothing. So I'm going to just go live. Give you some answers. All right. What's going on, sneakers? Now, I ain't going to be able to see this. I'm going to just read this real quick for y'all. All right, cross the I, dot the T. USPS says consolidator changes won't hurt service. Now, I spoke about this a couple days ago, and I said it was good news. But there's people that don't think that we can handle the work. I get it. I understand. It says, this is the article, there could be devastating impacts to delivery reliability if the Postal Service isn't prepared for what they're attempting to do. Now, I mentioned that we were getting our work back, and now they don't have faith in us. That kind of sucks, but we kind of did that to ourselves. Now, I can't read those comments because I just can't. I'm just reading. So I'll get to your comments in a second, all right? Says the U.S. Postal Service believes it can effectively handle volume shifts sparked by its efforts to change how key shipping partners bring packages into its network, a claim which industry groups have pushed back against. Obviously, the industry doesn't want to take the work back because the government's paying them a lot of money to do our work, which I always thought sucked, from Pitney Bowes to all those other ones that handle the work before the plants get the work, right? Doesn't make no sense. In recent months, the Postal Service has pressured consolidators like Pitney Bowes and DHL e-commerce, which handle and sends customer parcels to our facilities for last mile deliveries. Basically, they can't deliver it, so they send it to us. And we get the tail end of it. And you guys lose your mind because some of the stuff is ridiculously heavy. I get it. To agencies, facilities for last mile to inject parcel select volume into network earlier in its shipping process. So that means, I like to explain this, so don't get bored. When they have parcels, typically if they have big bulk mailers, pick a company, whether it be, they're shipping car parts or something like that. Instead of them shipping it through one of these companies, they're going to bring it right to us. We'll go right to the people that are shipping it, and then we handle everything from there, which again, that's good because you cut out the middleman. It goes from that person to us, which I believe will help with our revenue. Now, they're also talking about raising the prices for consumers. Now, I see a lot of people, I think we understand, but a lot of people complain about we're going up with our prices when it comes down to, shipping. And we are so far behind with shipping. I made a video about that. From 40 years, we've only gone up, 55 cents? So, you know what I mean? It's like a penny a year that we've gone up. We are so far behind. So I believe this is a good thing. I think all these little pieces of the puzzle are slowly coming together. All right. But it says experts, who the hell knows, have flagged delivery delays as a potential downside to the shift. Meaning, if you've been following me, we've been talking about all those delays up there in Atlanta, Texas, parts of California, Illinois. The Postal Service said in a June 12th filing to the Postal Regulatory Commission that it doesn't know the extent to which package volumes will move further upstream. However, the agent said it's carefully assessing its capability, whether or not we're capable to handle it. Increased activity at impacted facilities. They're scared that if they give us more work, we can't handle it. Well, history says we're having a hard time. So I get their concerns. But here's where life changes. They have these new machines that are coming in that's supposed to handle the mail volume. Who knows? They've been hiring carriers to handle the mail volume. Who knows if they stay? You guys saw that video with that supervisor or manager, the way she talked to people. See, I'm all over the place, but it all comes into effect. We can't keep new people if you have management that is like that. At the end of the day, when you got management like that, nobody wants to work for us because of the toxic management. I get that. Let me be a new carrier in my 20s or early 30s and then come in here and let an adult talk to me like a shit. Okay. All right. Given this approach and given the capacity that exists to handle additional volume in our facilities and transportation, we are highly confident that we'll be able to handle volume that migrates upstream, the Postal Service said. So the Postal Service is saying, yes, we can handle it. The Regulatory Commission, no. Their share partners, no. The public, no. The only people that say we can handle it is the Postal Service. So more work for us, I guess. I hope there's more work. Excuse me. However, if the Postal Service evaluations on how much volume will shift upstream are off, it could have devastating service impacts for mail and packages. The Association for Postal Commerce said. The group noted that the changes would mean consolidators and their customers will be more exposed to potential postal service delays, a recurring issue amid the agency's shaky rollout of its network overhaul. I guess I understand that as well. If history says we've been screwing up, other people that are shipping through us see that we've been screwing up and they're like, wait, they're going to handle everything from beginning to end? Hell no, we're going to go to FedEx, we'll go to UPS, we'll go to somebody else, which would take away revenue from us, which take away our bargaining power when we get rid of some of these sorry presidents of unions and stuff like that. But all of it kind of goes together. So if they take away the revenue, we have no bargaining chip. As has been widely reported and acknowledged by the Commission, the Postal Service has recently been reporting service performance results that are well below its own targets, despite having lowered service performance standards. We lowered our performance standards and we still can't make it. This is what they're saying. I don't want to keep going with it because I don't like the negativity. But that's what's going on, unfortunately. Yeah. I think it's good that we're fighting to get our work back. Everybody should be happy about that because more work means more people get hired. More people get hired, more people pay into the union. Hopefully the union will be fighting for us. That's the key right there. They need to fight for us. While I'm on here, I just got an email from one of these unions that said that they are having a Zoom meeting and they want everybody to participate. They want you guys to get in there and register for the Zoom meeting, the APWU, which a majority of the crafts are underneath. So if you're not underneath the APWU, then still, I would definitely still get into it. I would definitely 100% watch what they're doing, because kind of gives you a heads up. They want feedback from people. They want people to say, hey, we want this, we want that, we don't want this, we don't want that. The only thing that struck me as odd is that the Zoom meeting or whatever it is where they want people in there to give their feedback is on a Tuesday in the morning. Yeah, that blew my mind. I can't find it, but yes, definitely look on the APWU website, because if it can help us and people give their feedback, maybe they'll know what our demands are. All right, what am I looking for here? I done lost my stuff over here. And I'll get to your comments in a second. I think I will, hopefully. Someone wrote me. Well, I had spoke about a career plan for everybody, to make sure that you have a long-term career plan in your head. You know, aim for 30 years if you're here. Someone wrote, and I'm going to answer a couple of your questions in my comments, but this was a comment. It was a little harsh, but I figured I'd address it. This N-word's a bitch. He's referring to me, I'm guessing. He ain't a real nig. I tried to ask him words of advice and explain to him my situation, and he straight up disrespected me by calling me and my goals a silly situation. He act like the post office is the only thing there is to life, and that's all life has to offer. And if you got any other goals and then the post office, other goals than the post office, you're a fool. He is a loser who traded having other goals and ambitions in his life for a job security and comfort. Now that he an old man, that's me, and wasted his life at the post office, he think he did something and feel like he the one who can speak on things. He got the same mentality as all them other dickhead supervisors who work at the post office, and y'all listen to him for his words of advice. Well, yeah, he wrote me that. I don't know why he was angry. He asked me a very awkward question. And I'll tell you what it was. It had something to do with utilizing this and then having the weekends off, because he was a musician that needed to play at the bands, and he worked at the plant. And I told him, I said, that's just not realistic. Now I'm being realistic with it. Now I'm like, that's just not going to work. You have to be, if you work at a plant, you don't get to pick your schedule. Now, if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you a straight answer. I'm going to say, this is probably not the job for you. You might want to work as a carrier. And I believe he got mad. He's like, well, I don't want to do no work outside. I said, okay, well, you might want to work as a clerk, but you can't be guaranteed on your hours or your days either. Well, I need my weekends off. And well, that's not realistic. I didn't make no fun of him. I said, this is probably not. And he got mad at me, clearly. I don't get it. People are very sensitive. I don't understand. You know, this is the torture you guys put me through. It's funny, but it's not. He was really upset. Sheesh. But you can't make this stuff up. All right. Answer a couple questions. Someone mentioned about the yield savings accounts, the high yield savings accounts. They mentioned Basque Bank high yield saving account at 5.1%. Now, if you don't know, if you ever want to, I'm going to get to your comments in a second. If you don't know what a high yield savings account is, Google for yourself what the top 5 high yield savings accounts are. Okay, that way, if you're trying to save some money and you want bigger return, check them out, the top 5. That way you can get some actual money instead of going to like a Chase Bank or a Wells Fargo. Put your money into a high yield savings account. All right. Boom. All right. Someone said they are trying to switch to electric because of gas prices. That as well as electric is going to be the way of the future. It's unfortunate. It's just the way it is. I saw something on the news about some area in China that is like the highest production area of electric vehicles in the world. And they're selling EVs for $4,000 over there. And they got like the monopoly over it. And they got cleaner air, obviously, because they're not going through that. But I don't believe that they're switching because of gas prices, because the government obviously has a high discount. So if we paying $3.50 at the pump or $4.50 at the pump, they're not paying that. So I don't think it's because of the gas prices. I just think it's just somebody way up top said, hey, we got to deal with emissions and saving the planet. Some foolishness. I'm not going to call it foolishness because somebody goes, you know, it is real. Anyway, on to the next one. Shy till I die, my dog. Supervisors are always former carriers who couldn't handle the job and were terrible carriers. Their only other option is for them to move up into management, but this clown thinks she is saving the world by singling out a single carrier. What a joke. Okay. Not all supervisors are former carriers. A majority of who sits up top are. I think there was like 92% of all your senior people sitting up in the top have carried mail at one point. Not all of them were bad. There may have been some really good workers. Typically, what ends up happening is once you get into management, there is a very strict demand from people that are sitting up top, which are other carriers, and they got to kind of follow this chain. They say, hey, we want only 800 hours at your station for this week, no more, no less. And that's what their demand is. So then they got to sit there and act like jerks to the people at the station or the mail handlers. Same exact scenario. That's kind of how that goes. GPS in vehicles, don't get mad about that. All of our vehicles have GPSs in them already. Every one of the vehicles that you guys own, if you got a 2016 or 2017 or more, there's some form of tracking device on them. You know, they want to come repo your stuff, they gonna find it. It'll be in the key chips or something. There's nothing to worry about. Boom, 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 boom. What was the other one? All right. Let's see. Let's get to your questions. Let's see how I open this damn thing up. There we go. Now we talking. All right. Thank you for all you do, Jay. We appreciate you. You're welcome. All right. I read on NALC app that we're getting a COLA third quarter, more than likely. If you have a contract and it is not, you haven't updated your contract yet, they just continue on with where your contract was before. It's just a continuation. And they put that in every single contract. It's part of the contract. If we don't come up with a new contract by January 1st, we will just continue the same thing that we have going on here. And from what I understand, the last NALC contract took 18 months to finalize. So, Just joined. Anything about the contract or raises been already talked about? Which contract? Public lost faith in us because of DeJoy. Steven, I don't think it was just because of DeJoy. I think they've been losing faith in us for a long time. There's just so much going on with the post office. They're looking at the news. They see these managers that have been, when you have managers that are part of heavy schemes and scams and stealing and theft and washing checks and everything, public is going to lose faith in us. We have our hands in a lot of different things that, the public doesn't realize. Some places, postal workers transport bricks of gold. They transport lots of, drugs, medicals, everything. So checks. A postal worker with a badge can go damn near into the White House. Think about that. We don't go into the White House, but right next to the White House, you have access to a lot of things. And that's a scary thing when you have access like that and they abuse it. Not saying you, but when they abuse that access, that's when public loses faith in us. And then with all the things that have been going on with the changes, compounded on top of what they're seeing with the postal workers' keys getting stolen, with the postal workers stealing, the management stealing, everybody, just so much. I can understand why people are hesitant with, you got a bad contractor. Would you hire somebody that paints everybody's house but only paints half the house? No, you'd be like, man, I don't want to hire them. So that's kind of where they are with us. It's up to us to build a trust back. I don't know how, but that's where that goes. When is the Zoom meeting? The Zoom meeting is Tuesday. I don't know if it's this upcoming Tuesday. I just got the email, but if you go on the APWU website, it is open. Anybody can go on there and you can register for it. I would say register for it just to listen, to hear what they're talking about. You hear what they're talking about if you're not with the APWU, like the carriers, because some of the things that they are talking about will help you when you guys are looking for your next president. There's one person that says, hey, James Henry. Somebody else says this guy, Mike. I just happen to watch his stuff. They all sound good. And then you have Tyler Vasseur, which is, they're trying to pretty much build a candidate. They say, hey, look, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. Do you promise this? Do you promise that? Let's build a candidate that we all can agree on and pray that this person follows through with all of his promises. So whoever you choose, so long as it's not the person that you guys put in there last time. Think about it. Y'all mad about Renfro, but y'all voted him in. So be cautious on who you vote in next time. Make sure your voice counts. I had the voice of the voiceless, but your voice counts when you vote for whoever it is next. All right? Don't let me, you better vote for this person. Vote your conscience. All right? Contract pay raises need to be disclosed as soon as possible. Yes. What job still has the weekends? Mine. I ain't gonna rub it in, but yeah, that's why I got out of driving trucks. They said weekends off. Shit. Boy, I don't make as much money as I did before, but I am very content with not having to work the weekends. All right. Hey, JH, there is ways to get those schedules, though. It's no ideal, and most regulars don't like it, but yes, he can have weekends off. We have many with set schedules. Yeah, well, the person didn't even start yet. They didn't even start. And I think he was going into the plant. He was going into the plant at a regular plant that's open 24 hours a day. You can't just walk in there and demand, hey, I want weekends off and I don't want to work overnight. That's just not how this works. I don't think anybody's ever waltzed in here and has done that. If you got that bid, you're lucky. But to have somebody just walk in here and say, hey, I can only work Monday through Friday from 7 to 3. They go, well, no, you work when we need you. That's always been the case. I don't think anybody that's watching me has walked in there and got the schedule that you demanded off rip, unless you know somebody. I've never gotten it. Sounds like he needs to start his own business. Yes. What's up there, Gerg? In California, they're creating tax for 30 cents a mile for EVs. Yes, probably. Because EVs are heavy. Those EVs have very, very big batteries on the bottom. So the tires go faster, from what I'm reading, and they tear up the roads more because of the weight of the vehicle. So California, I don't know how anybody lives in California. They're expensive. My coworker swears she smells marijuana every so often. Probably. We ship marijuana through the mail. There are some medical marijuanas that we ship through the mail, and people will mail marijuana. It is what it is. I mean, if she smells it, bring the box to your supervisor. It is what it is. Sometimes they do that as a test. To see who it disappears to. Just like a presidential campaign. Tell us one thing and then do another. You know it, Gabe. Gabriel. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather have Tuesdays off than the weekend. Okay, I like my Tuesday off. I like my weekends off. Steven said, I'm about to go demand these weekends off. And if they didn't get that schedule, someone with more seniority will definitely take it. Those politicians want to text the sun for the solar. What position would you recommend applying for? Daniela, I don't know. It just depends. Mario, what's going on? It all depends on your wants or what you like. If you like to be out in the sun and you like not having a supervisor over your shoulder, then be a carrier. Is it an easy job? No. If you like working like a machine and you're inside, then you can go to the plant. If you want to be a clerk, you're a people person, go to the station. There's just a bunch of them. Gonna be 116 this Friday in Arizona. Someone told me to talk about the heat and how to protect yourselves. Drink water. Okay, on to the next one. No, let me stop with that because where I live is very hot as well. A lot of people don't take that serious, but if you bring anything with you in your coolers, make sure it's water. Make sure it's water. Get a change of clothes. Bring a small, what are those things? Washcloths. Bring a small washcloth. Put it in your little cooler that you bring with you. And once the ice starts melting, it'll always be cold. Just take a wet washcloth, throw it in whatever, your ice or whatever. And the moment you start getting hot, put it around your neck. That, instead of those little snap towels that they give you. That can cool you down. That's pretty much all they can do it right now. God willing, when they get these new vehicles in, we won't have these conversations about this heat. We'll have conversations, but it's not going to be heat exhaustion. Dress with light clothing. That's common sense. Layers. Don't. No black, obviously. And just stay hydrated. Stop. Don't let these supervisors tell you to keep going if you don't feel good. You start getting lightheaded, sit your ass down. They give you these, well, I don't know if they all give it to you, but they're supposed to have these meetings with you guys every, 2 months or something about all these heat warnings. And it's supposed to tell you, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. I don't know how many people follow it, but that's what you're really supposed to do. All right. Tow truck drivers have the one special device to get the EV on the flatbed. They're not easy to get up there. I believe it's a balance issue. Sunshine, you got to tell me about that. Replace those electrolytes. Yes, absolutely. Should carriers continue paying their union dues even though we don't have a say? Let's be honest, union and management are best friends. Pooh, you trying to get the old man in trouble. I would say continue paying your dues. It's all, you know what? I'm not going to give advice on that. It's all a personal preference. It is a personal preference. Management and the union have to work together to some degree. They have to. Do we like that? No. What I see behind the scenes, I don't really care for. But are they going to negotiate with the people up top? Absolutely. Do the unions have lawyers that will destroy the management at the post office? 100%. I learned that today. Today, 30. Yes. When they come and they doing an arbitration or something, the unions have lawyers. And the post office just has some former carriers that are in there trying to, this person needs to be released, removed. We got to fire them. The union come in there with their ducks in a row. So when it comes down to that and they say that your union dues are paying for their lawyers and all that other foolishness, that is true. But again, that's all a personal preference. When the truck drivers come from Phoenix to Santa Barbara, they wear flip-flops, half a t-shirt. They tell me it's so hot. Now, the truck drivers that you're talking about, those are probably contract drivers because our USPS drivers do not wear flip-flops. We're not allowed to wear that. They wear uniforms. They wear basically the same exact thing as a carrier, except for the stripe on our pants. There is no stripe. That's the only difference. Motor vehicle. How many more times will they do that? Wait a second. Here we go. I have a question. So I was out of work for 2 months with a non-work related injury. They took my insurance, my health insurance premiums out of my paycheck. Is that normal? Yes. Yes, it is normal. They're going to continue to take it because if just like, here goes, just like your car insurance, if your car is broken and it's in the shop for a month and they can't find the part, you still have to continue to pay the insurance on the car for it to be registered, right? Take that as the person. Even while you're out with a non-work related injury, you still have health insurance, and it still has to be paid for because the post office is paying their portion of it as well. I don't know if that makes sense, but in the beginning of the year, they factored in, let's say you're paying $80 every 2 weeks, which I don't have the math in my head. 80 times, was it 26? That's, let's do the math. 80 is 26 to cut the I and dot the T. That's 16. That's 170, almost $1,000 something that you're paying out your pocket. They have that set for you for the whole year. Now you have to obviously pay that, and the post office is paying their portion. All right. So once they pay that, once you have to continue paying it, or you will owe back money. So if they're continuing to take that money from you, yes, it's a good thing. You don't want to have to owe no back money when you get back to work. Management is always trying to cover up the past actions. Oof. I don't give a damn how bad the union is. Always going to pay my union dues. It's better have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That's kind of how I have my gun. I like that big hazma. Woo! There's 100 people in here and only 30 pressed the like button. Come on, people. I've never asked anybody to press the like button. If you choose to do so, that's on you. You don't have to like what I'm saying. I'm just trying to help pass on some informaciones. I'm not those other guys. Those are my dogs, though. I don't think I'm picking on them. Like, share, and subscribe. Never. All right, Alex. Jay and Postal Family, how y'all doing? I just made regular after a couple rough years. Okay. Congratulations there, Alex. Congratulaciones. What'd you do? You're a regular now, or what craft? What is the process of resigning as a CCA? Zen, you throw up your middle finger. No, you don't do that. If you choose to resign, do it the proper way. Give them a notice, have it written out. You can Google forms, how to write a proper resignation notice. And I mean, if you're a CCA, you're better than me. But if you want to do that, just, and give it, you can email it to them. Give them a copy. Make sure you keep your own copies. Make sure that you give it to a few different supervisors or managers. That way you've covered your backside, as well as the postmaster. You can always email everybody. That way, if you do decide to come back to the post office, there should not be any bad blood. They can say, I don't know why this person didn't come back. And then, they try to blackball you. You can't come back. Is it true that 204Bs start at $80,000 a year? 204Bs are level 17. I don't think they're 80,000. I think they're somewhere like 76 grand. They get paid by the hour, if I'm not mistaken. So don't have me lying to you. I don't remember how that works. They're level 17, so it comes out between $72,000 to $76,000 a year. That's without overtime. $204B do not make that much more money. Maybe they make percent above their salary. Don't burn your bridges, City Carrier. Watch your videos every day. Change the culture. No question. City Carrier, you made it through the foolishness. Boy, you a blessed man. A lot of people could not do that type of job. Y'all crazy. 5% above your salary depending on what step you're at. Thought it was a little more than 5%, but Sunshine would know. All right, got that part out the way. Go back to my questions. I had more. Recently, my station manager accused of promoting lady supervisor for sexual favors was walked out of the station. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Do you think you're the only one that has happened to? Manager promoted a lady to supervisor for sexual favors. That was a nice way of saying it, but does that happen around the country? You guys tell me. Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. Where we at? Career conferences. Please, please, people, do not frown when I talk about career conferences. Career conferences give you a different outlook of what is available to you. Because city carrier, you got promoted, great. Do you want to aspire to be more and just take the abuse? I'm not saying you're being abused already, or be part of the change. The new culture is coming in and the old guard is leaving. And that's where the concern, where we were just talking about with these people saying, man, we're always late. But it's up to the new guard that's coming in to change that culture and do things better. Whether or not you have it up, in your blood to do it, it's up to you. But there's only one way for you to find out if something up top is going to be for you. There is something for everyone. They have nurses that work for the post office. They have people in learning and development. That's kind of where I'm at. Learning and development, where you're teaching classes. You just when carriers crash, they come and see me. Teaching, dealing with different types of situations, whether you want to be the one to talk about orientation to the new people. If you feel as if you have it in you to be something different or better, go to a career conference. It can't hurt you. Do you get paid for it? No. But does it expose you to more than what you see at your little station or at your little plant? Absolutely. This post office has a bunch of worker bees. That's what we are. But then there's so many more that sit up top above us that are making our decisions. The ones that collect all the data and analytics about each of your stations. When they do those, what do they do for the mail carriers when they count your mail? There's somebody that does that. I saw a person come out to a station one day with a ruler. I said, what the hell are you doing? He said, measuring the mail. I said, is this really a thing? They're getting paid for that stuff. I don't know how much they're getting paid, but they're getting paid more than the carrier. So just look into these things that are options for you. And if you get rid of the old guard and start filling it up with some positivity, that's what we talking about. You got a cup full of mud and you start pouring water into it. Eventually the mud's going to be gone. It's going to get filled with some fresh water. Eventually the mud will be gone. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Oh, man. What lie am I telling? All right. What I miss? Title supervisors make the money. Okay. That happens at my station this year. True. I gotta be cautious what I say on this thing. Got these people watching. But there was that video that had the lady that was just screaming for 2 hours. And I read the comments about the person that posted it. And I read the comments on my channel. Some people say they can agree with the lady's frustration. And I get the frustration, but it does not excuse the way she spoke to another truck driver. We are all entitled to our feelings, but the way she handled it just shows that she's in over her head when it comes down to truck drivers. We're a different beast. Truck drivers are. And the way she spoke, it just told she was never a truck driver. So he didn't chalk his wheels. That's why this happened. That's not the case. Whether the driver was a trash driver or not, whether or not he was an antagonist, anybody that gets into management, you have to have a strong shell. That's why these managers break. That's why postal workers break. But it is unacceptable for anybody in a managerial position to carry themselves in that manner. And there's a 2-hour video of her ranting and raving about this person, which it's disgusting, totally disgusting. Now, what she said in it was, she had to go through labor and just to try to get rid of this MFer and all that other stuff. And here's the thing. When they do try to go to labor and they try to go through all the channels, it is very difficult to get rid of a bad worker, because the union does have, like I said earlier, the lawyers that will fight. And then you sitting there wondering, well, this trash ass truck driver, this trash ass mail handler, this trash ass clerk that never show up to work, we have them all. And you wonder how they've been put on administrative leave for the last 7 weeks. Or have any of you seen somebody be gone for like 4 months, 5 months, and then show back up? Like, man, I thought you was fired. Like, yeah, they got my job back. And you're like, dude, you got caught in the car with such and such, and you wasn't supposed. You know what I'm saying? And you wonder how they got their job back, because the union do that type of fighting. Good, bad, or indifferent, they do that type of fighting, and you get frustrated. Like, man, I gotta work next to this. I thought I was free from you. Think about how the manager feels. Far from me saying that she's right, because she was 100% wrong, but I know how she feels. Because some of us as workers feel that way about some of the co-workers. Some of you know exactly the day that somebody's going to call out. To this moment, you know that. Jeff, the day we have our holiday, tomorrow is Wednesday. They're going to have a holiday. And he got off on Monday and Sunday, Monday. I guarantee you he's going to call out Tuesday. Just because Wednesday, and y'all know the ones that do it. You know the ones that do it. And the management knows the ones that do it, and they get tired of it. And you guys get to, man, this son of a bitch ain't gonna show up to work on Tuesday. I'm gonna be stuck with his route. That's exactly what they deal with. All right, cool. The old guard is leaving through retirement, and we can't even replace people because the wages of the average person month this year. This is true. This is true. Now, with the wages, I've always asked, and I think I got 115 people on here. Please, somebody in the comment section, all of you guys are commenting. There's 114 people on here. Somebody in California, tell me if there is a job that can give us exactly what we getting right now, and they can apply for it in Mississippi or in Waco, Texas, or in Arizona, or in South Carolina. One job that can start us at what we're making with the same type of insurance. And I've always said it before, you can't say UPS because they don't start you that way. Anybody that has that, please leave that comment. I'm just asking because other people want to know. Frito-Lay. There's truck drivers, right? I don't think there's a Frito-Lay all around this country. I've seen Frito-Lay driving up and down the highway pulling doubles, but no. But somebody tell me if there's a company out there that anybody with no skill level can make the type of money we make and make the type of benefits we make. We behind. Oh yeah, we're behind. But we make more than the TSA. I get TSA people that come to me. My next class, which is Thursday, I have a former police officer that went to become a truck driver, and now he's in the class to become a carrier. These people are leaving full-fledged careers to come work for us because we have a lot. What we're not doing is utilizing a lot. This is true. I'm waiting. No comment. Somebody tell me one thing. Man, post office, man, I'm gonna go work in them. Okay. Tell me where. I used to make $247,000 a year as an over-the-road truck driver. I was never home. Never home. I used to spend 8 weeks out at a time. I was miserable. Out of $247,000, I brought home about maybe $80,000. And then I divided that up. Okay, I brought home $80,000, but I was only home for maybe 3 months out the year when I tallied up how many days. I was like, this is not worth it. But that's because I had a trade. Anything that somebody could do. We could say an electrician. How many people are going to go and become an electrician? You can get an older lady to become an electrician, or a lady that's pregnant right now. This place accepts every walk of life. We all know that. If we can't figure that out, we'll get on to the next one. In KC, Kansas City, Missouri, I've seen several FedEx and Amazon delivery folks come in to be carriers. I get them every day. Every class, we have FedEx and Amazon people there. Amazon was going on trade. Amazon, I had a video about them. They keep people around for maybe 2 years and they push you out. FedEx, they're underneath contractors. And same thing as Amazon. They have the same business format. So I don't know if you guys are new to my channel, but what it is JH will buy 10 trucks with 10 routes. And I specifically bought those routes from FedEx or from Amazon. Now I have to supply the labor to those 10 routes, those 10 trucks to work. They're going to pay me $3 million for the year or whatever it is. I have to pay for my vehicles. I have to pay for my labor. I have to pay for the workers' comp, etc., and their wages. So technically, they're not working for Amazon. They're working for J. Same thing with FedEx. They buy the routes. Somebody that got money just buys the routes. And then they just fill the spots up. And that's how it works. Learn somebody something, right? The root of every problem. This place accepts everybody. This is true. Is a hybrid express, direct employees and ground as contractors. Why it's changing soon. That's why I jumped to USPS. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of the liability end of it. So just like how much we spend on workers' comp, they don't have that problem at Amazon. They don't. No, maybe if they work inside of the facilities, they do. But they got 9,000 cameras inside the facility. And they don't even have people work. Anybody that worked inside of a facility at Amazon, inside, they know they don't even keep people close to each other. There is no room for you to talk. Some places make you put your phones away. They serious about that. You're going to focus on work. Zero error. And FedEx, they get hurt. They're not suing FedEx. They're suing the contractor that they work for. Next time you see a little step band that says FedEx on it, it'll say FedEx operated by JH. It ain't gonna say JH, but you understand what I'm saying. Operated by such and such. And that's who it is. UPS, on the other hand, they got a vicious union there, but they don't pay for their health insurance. That's factored into their wages and their union dues. We think we got some union dues. Good God Almighty. Anybody here work for UPS before? You know how much they pay for their union dues? Shit. What they do is they basically have your union dues that we pay now. Let's say you pay $40 a week. And let's say you pay $87 for your health insurance. They'll tack those together. You'll be paying $130 to your union dues, but you don't have to pay no health insurance. That's how they get away with that. Look it up. Can't make that stuff up. Are the USPS semi-manual transmissions? No, they're not manual. I don't even think they have too many manuals anymore. I was thinking about taking my Class A CDL. Don't know, should I only go for the automatic transmission? If you go to become a Class A CDL driver, If the option is there to be, to drive standard as well, yeah, take it. Day one of OJI training in the books. That's what's up. OJI. Los with the hoodie. What's goody? I start my TTO position. Raj, where you going? I think you emailed me, Raj. July 1st. I don't like to talk about the TTO position because they don't think we work much. I know they monitor you guys a lot more. Don't get caught playing around them trucks, boy. Whoo. Anybody in the comments? Anybody in the comments? Tell me. This happened too long ago, and this is an accident that needed to be investigated. Safety is kind of what we do. An accident that needed to be investigated. A truck driver driving at 27 miles an hour. Follow me now. He's driving at 27 miles an hour down a street. He comes to a blinking yellow light. Another vehicle coming to the same intersection is coming to a blinking red light. The truck driver continues to go. The vehicle goes through the blinking red light. The truck driver smashes into him, and that's how the accident happens. Who do you guys believe is at fault? I personally believe that the truck driver was not at fault because blinking yellow is caution. And the truck driver was driving cautiously at 27 miles an hour. The person that went through the blinking red light is supposed to be looked at like a stop. That's how they're supposed to factor it in. But management says the truck driver was in the wrong because they didn't see him apply brakes. This is what they're doing. I'm telling you, these things are happening. They said he did not apply brakes when coming to the intersection. And although the blinking yellow light says proceed with caution, they didn't see him. That's what they read on these new geo trackers, that he applied brakes. I said, my opinion as a truck driver, because everybody else is carriers, I said, he didn't need to because it's caution. The other guy was supposed to stop. Well, he wasn't in the wrong. They're trying to find a reason to fire the guy. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Think the guy was wrong? There it is, blinking red light. Red light means stop. The blinking light is supposed to be like a stop sign. That's kind of what I thought. The USPS give rural carrier vans this year. It depends on your area. Depends on your area if they'll give you vans. But yeah, the red light, in my opinion, is a stop. So the vehicle was supposed to stop. They're saying, well, it was evening. He's supposed to have seen the headlights of the vehicle coming down the street, and he was supposed to slow down. And they try to find a reason to throw anything. I'm sure carriers have been through all type of accidents. They try to do anything to throw you under the bus. Even when you're wrong, even when you're right, you're wrong. I don't like the way they do these things here, and they don't want the advice from a real truck driver. Tomorrow holiday, I understand. I just wish the training was faster. I got lucky. CCA training was moved from Fresno to Stockton. I think the trucker did what he felt was safe. I think the trucker was just trucking down the street. He wasn't speeding. He was at 27 miles an hour. He's probably just cruising. 2 o'clock in the morning, his mind just going. And at the intersection, like, I got a yellow light. I'm going to just keep going. And the other person said, screw it. They ran through it. What is a van? I only know the LOV, Mercedes, or ProMaster. True. They have other vans there, Sunshine. They have Dodge vans, like the Caravan. They had them for a short period of time. Trucker did what he felt was safe. All right. Anyway, to a females, I'm reading your comments. Let's go back to the comments. All right. Next topic. Supervisors are currently giving out punishments for on-the-job injuries. Anybody been injured on the job? Was it easy for you when you filled out your CA1? This person says they received a 7-day suspension paperwork yesterday, and all they did was file a CA1. Never missed work. Another guy got the same because of faulty equipment led him to the accident, accidentally smashing his hand. Management didn't find him at fault, even drove him to the hospital. Jesus Christ, this is a long one. Even drove him to the hospital. 2 months later, he gets a 7-day notice in the mail. Half a dozen people were all given the same. 204Bs let slip that our plant managers has ordered 7-day suspensions for any and all injuries going forward. That's crazy. Yeah, I meant to read this whole thing the other day. I'm not surprised at all by this video. Have anybody ran into that situation? I wish my postmaster buddy was watching this. People being reprimanded for having accidents on the job. They suspending people. Is that a thing? All right. So he never attempted to break. Relentless. No, he didn't attempt to break. It was a blinking yellow light. So, I mean, that was what they asked, whether or not he was going to break. But if I got a blinking yellow light, if I got a green light ahead of me, right, I'm going to drive. And I'm not going to assume that somebody's going to run the stoplight. You're going to assume as they're coming up to the stop that they're going to stop. Because person's driven that road a bunch of times. They know there's a blinking red light here and there's a blinking yellow here. Your assumption while you're driving your own vehicle is that the person that's coming down the road is going to stop. But again, that's just my opinion. When applying in another state, do they consider that you're still living in a different state? Meaning, does that impact your consideration for an offer? No. If you apply from a different state, they're going to assume that you're moving to that state. That's kind of like pre-planning. Talk about adding insult to injury. Yeah. Applying to different states. A lot of things are on hold right now, just so you guys know. Transfers, if you're trying to transfer to another state, or if you're trying to transfer to another area, or you put in for a transfer, let's say you moved. It's very difficult right now because of the what DeJoy did with this whole freeze thing. And I know it's really freezing because typically in my classes, I have 20 to 30 people in a class. And right now I've had 4 to 7 in the class. So they're cutting back on a lot of the hiring in my area, and I live in a big city. So, and I have not seen any, maybe 1 or 2 clerks will flirt in, or 1 mail handler assistant here and there. But a lot of the hiring has been freezing right now. Now, I don't know about your area, and if you have seen in your area that you have had people being hired, please let me know. I don't know what they're doing up there in Atlanta. I've looked on the website to see if they're doing any hiring, because Atlanta is just a total screw up, and I haven't really noticed anything new. I think they need more people, but that's just my opinion. I'm about to go to demand these weekends off. Let's see what else they wrote here. Also, if you're currently watching me, I don't like to talk about race. Somebody made a very cute comment. I'm gonna say, guess what race it is. But we don't do that. We don't guess what race it is. We all postal workers. We all idiots because we work here. That's it. At the end of the day, it takes a special type of person to work here. Somebody asked me if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would, or would I, and what would I change? And that's a good question to ask a lot of you guys while you're here. if you had a chance to do this all over again, some of you are different. Just understand that some of you are the newer generation that only took 2 years to get in. Some of you are the older generation that took about 5 to 6, 7 years before you became career. I think I took 5 years maybe to become career. So what would be different? Would you still be here? I mean, the people that have been there for a while, obviously you're making a little bit more money, but would you have changed your outlook? Because the only people that I see really making a lot more than us are typically like doctors, lawyers, people working in office, in medical field, nurses. Besides that, as much as this place sucks, we kind of get the benefits that a lot of them don't. And a lot of nurses, our brother's a nurse practitioner, and he doesn't even get health benefits like me. I'm like, you serious, man? Makes a ton of money, but he has to pay a lot out of his pocket. I'm like, why don't you just go see the doctors in your thing? He's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. So they actually pay a lot of money out of their pocket. It's kind of weird. But let's see. I've been waiting for almost a month after they asked for MVR based out of Dallas. Joseph, it took me almost 5 months to get hired. Years ago. It's a slow, long process. It is a very long process. If they want you right in, they'll bring you in. For some reason, our superiors bought us hot dogs and pizzas, Tortu mail handlers. Okay, Costco. They are trying to change the culture a little bit because of that training that I mentioned. A lot of people, it ain't gonna help none. Gotta start somewhere. We gotta start somewhere. That's like somebody that's really overweight. You saw my video yesterday, looking at myself in the mirror saying, I'll never be fit. I'll never be fit. I worked out for 2 weeks. I'll never be fit. I worked out for 3 months. I'll never be fit. After a while, that's how this culture works. They're forcing a lot of things on these managers. And I agree. A lot of them need these little tiny meetings that they have to sit there and they watch on TV. I don't believe it's enough. They really need, people saying $80 million for that training is a waste. No, they need to sit down with some real teachers to teach them how to give craft workers instructions. Stop saying, if you don't do this, there will be discipline. That is the most, I hate that word. And everyone that's worked here at one point or another has heard that word at their station. You don't threaten adults with discipline. No, a corrective meeting, corrective action, whatever it is. But discipline, I don't even talk to my son like that, discipline. I can't stand that. So a lot of the managers need that training. A lot of the managers I've listened to just around my plant, my stepdaughter, where she works, her plant, the people that at my daughter's station, my sister's station, they don't know how to talk to people. There's just a select few in this country that really have what it takes. And if you have to be sent back to some type of managerial training, if you want to make that 90 grand, $100,000 a year, go sit your ass down, go get trained, because at the end of the day, if I have the opportunity to make $100, $100,000 a year, and I got 50 people that work underneath me, and I got this operation that if there was some accountability, say, hey, Jay, this is what you're gonna make per year, but you got to make sure that your people are doing X, Y, Z. My job as the manager is to make sure that the people that are working underneath me are happy or are content to come back. They didn't got to like me, but at least they know I'm on their side. Hey, listen, guys, it's going to be a rough day. All right, I know the union say X, Y, Z, but if you need some help, be there. You have to have a different attitude when approaching the people that are beneath you. Me take that word back. The people that you are the peer of. In order to make sure that they are willing to work with you. I got Yaya, and he's like, I'll work for my manager because my manager is, they take care of us. And that's what's starting to happen. They're slowly being told, hey, You guys got to make sure that people come to work. The reason that they don't want to come to work is because you as a manager sound like that lady in the last video. Nobody, I wouldn't go to work. Shit. I'd say, oh really? I'd have all my homies call out. You want to talk like that? Ain't nobody going to take you from that position. That's cool. Let me see you drive that truck and do all them routes yourself, because we're not going to be spoken to like children. Again, everybody has a different approach, but I believe that the managers in this place need to do better in order for the employees to want to do better, to want to come to work, not to play the games of, oh, I tripped and fell out the truck. I broke my ankle. Haha, now I need 4 weeks off. 45 days. It's the culture. It's a domino effect, and it starts from the top, it trickles down, it goes from the down back up. They need to start somewhere. And if they're doing due diligence and you guys say, hey, we got a pizza party or Costco or whatever it is, and they say, look, I know I don't talk to you guys about this all the time, and I just want you to know I truly appreciate you. I'm trying to turn a different leaf. It's going to take a while because I'm not accustomed to this. A lot of pressure on my shoulders, but I really want this place to work. I want everybody to kind of come in here and just do their thing. And if you guys need something, I'm open and I'm receptive. And if I can't answer it, don't jump down my throat. I will do my best to try to help. That's different than what a lot of the managers are dealing with right now. They turn around and they just want to scold you like you a kid. And that's when they get that whole feedback. Oh, really? Watch me dial 1-800, bang, bang. You figure it out. And then when 3 people do that, then the CCAs and everybody else gets double slammed with work. It's such a nasty culture. And somebody up top is saying that the foot soldiers, the people on the front line, have to make this better. So if a manager says, look, I got to make this better. Supervisors, y'all better do your due diligence to make sure that the employees that are working underneath you come to work. You better start treating them correctly. You don't have to always write them up. This whole thing will write people up, giving them a high. Attendance is a high. There are different methods for different people. But the whole structure that comes down from the people up top of telling people, this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do. It just don't work like that. At Postmaster that I'll be chatting with, I got a manager friend that's at another station. I've listened to them on the phone while interacting with employees. And I'm like, this is amazing. And when you hear them like that, you want them, I wish I could work for you. But there's not that many of them. But they need people like that to train other people. Hey, I'm getting more with sugar than I am with salt. And when other people come in there with their grudging attitude, man, fuck these workers, man. These workers ain't shit. You got to treat them like this. You got to treat them like that. And then you got somebody sitting in front of the classroom saying, you like being treated like that? Because I can treat you like that. You know what I'm saying? Give them a wake up call. You know what? How about this? If you don't get it right, we'll find a place that works for you. We'll move you around, because they can do that. They can ship a manager anywhere. They ain't got that little 60-mile limit. They ship them anywhere. You got to uproot the whole manager and send them to a whole different state. So I say all of that because I think that this new training that they have coming out is beneficial. Honestly, it is. If it just gives one increment of positivity and it starts to bloom, a little seed can grow into something big. But this is also where I was just talking about the career choices that you guys make. Get in there. Change that culture. Get in there. Let's not sit there and wait for them to do it, because the lady that was in that other video, she a couple years from retiring. You think she's going to change right now? No. One of y'all step up in there and say, look, this is what we're going to do. But it won't happen if you just sit back. I done ran on my mouth too much. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, man. Let's see. They hire in Norfolk, Virginia. All right, cool. What is the average time to become a regular? All the other crafts except for RCA are about 2 years max. Now, I might be a PTF, but you're still career. That's why people give up on being hired. I think their hiring process should be a lot more quicker. This is true, Benita. It should be quicker, but there's a lot of factors that go on behind the scenes. There really is. I did have a video about that, but if you want to email me, Benita, I'm not sure. I'm guessing you're a female. My email is always in the video description. I could kind of give you a heads up on how they work behind the scenes when you apply. Might help you out. I've had a lot of different jobs. I wanted to be a mailman since high school. I was told about people working as part-time for years. I was always told it's hard to get on. This is true. Only thing I do different is applying for the position that is your ultimate goal. Sometimes it's not taken lightly. If they feel they want you to stay in certain position, they talk to us like children, not adults. This is true. I thought scoring a 98 on a CCA assessment would help the process, but patience is the key. This is true. Patience is the key. If you're a CCA and not converted to regular before 24 months, you become a PTF. This is true. I'm starting to wish I got on when I was younger. I wish I got on when I was younger as well. Absolutely. Thomas, was good, homie. Always speaking the truth. I speak my truth. I don't know if it's everybody's truth. I speak my truth, just how I feel. It ain't not everybody. It's just a strong opinion. And from things I've seen, I think that, I'm pretty close to being spot on. Not everybody agrees, but the channel is Everything with JH. Took me less than a month to get hired. Took me 1 year and 2 months to make regular. COVID happened. I had to get another job. UPS was in the hiring. Late game 51, but I'm all in. Late? Gabrielle, it ain't late. You still young. Don't let these youngsters tell you late in the game. My manager went to training today. I asked her what she was. Okay. I've had some soups that are excellent. Treat you well. Okay. He was one dope. He soup or union rep. Haha. Gabriel, is this the NERP refresher training class? She didn't say, especially the postmaster works with us and works with us well. You teach people how to treat you. That's right. Anybody excited for September? What is in September? What's September? September surprise? What's going on in September? Need to stern but fair and understanding. What's my email? It's in the video description. My email is finesse316. Word finesse 316 at gmail.com. 316 is a verse in the Bible. Some people know, some people don't. Yeah, I want to know what's coming in September. Johnny Taco Sauce. All right, what time is it? It is 10:05. And my little man ain't here today. He left me. He left me to go to his mom. The new contract that's supposed to save our life. Is that when it's supposed to pop up in September? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I've been on here for 1 hour. My postal family, I think I got the information through. I am going to post the video maybe in a couple hours. I got to play with the editing. Very short video. Unfortunately, it's about postal carriers being robbed, and it's caught on video. Oh, man. I'm not the man. I am a man. Chi-Town, baby. Okay. I remember going to Chicago. I was terrified going into Chicago. I used to drive 18-wheelers and deliver to Jewel Food Distribution Center. You guys still have Jewel Foods up there in Chicago? Anyway, I was going down, I believe it was Cicero, and an 18-wheeler, and then it had to go down Cicero because all the other streets got low bridges. It's worse than New York. And it was during a Puerto Rican Day parade. Can't make this stuff up. And the police told me I had to go down this street, Puerto Rican Day parade. And they had all the Puerto Ricans jumping on the side of the truck. And they were like, beep the horn. I'm like, I'm going to beep this goddamn horn. Burr, burr, burr. I was getting down with them. And that's the memory that I have of Cicero. Yep, sure is. Great show. Brian, y'all be safe. Gabrielle, be safe. Taco, be safe. Sunshine, you feel free to text me whenever you feel. Oh yes, it's getting worse. M. Wendy T. Wendy's my first ex-wife's name. I'ma still say have a blessed day. And everybody else that I may have missed. Y'all be good. This is JH. I had to move the camera up because it was really low. And you know I sit in my boxers. I'm out. Okay, y'all can't see me good. And I ain't got my little man to stop this, so it may be foolish trying to figure the damn thing out.